Bueno, señoras y señores, como lo prometido es deuda, tenemos directamente desde Australia a Andrew Moloney. No necesita presentación porque usted lo vio el sábado en la cartelera de Crawford, el señor Terence Crawford, que peleó con Brooke, y él estaba en la coestelar en esa decisión que usted conoce, controversial, el cabezazo. Se le negó a Moloney la posibilidad de recuperar su faja en las 115 libras. Y por eso lo hemos invitado. Thank you so much, Andrew, for being here with us. And thank you for your time.
Nah, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Have you been able to sleep? That would be the first question since last Saturday, at least to take a nap, a 2 hour nap or something like that after that decision?
Yeah, nah, not a lot. I've had a little bit of sleep, but I keep waking up and thinking about the fight and playing it over and over again in my head. And I still can't believe what happened.
Yeah. Le pregunto si ha podido dormir después de esa decisión y dice que no, que muy poco, todavía le da vuelta en la cabeza lo que pasó el sábado y no puede creer lo que pasó. Andrew, it's been brought to my attention, actually I was reading this morning, that your team, your lawyer, has officially filed an appeal with the Nevada State Athletic Commission to attempt to overturn the controversial decision. Is that right? Is the appeal being filed already? When did it happen?
Yes, that's correct. My team and Bob Arum has brought a lawyer in to represent me and my case, and they filed to the Nevada Commission yesterday to hopefully have that decision overturned. So that's all in the process at the moment.
Dice Andrew que desde ayer ellos están apelaron a la Comisión Atlética del Estado de Nevada para tratar de que la decisión se arregle, para tratar de que le den la victoria. Is your team and your lawyer, are you confident that they are going to overturn this decision?
Yes. At first, when my team spoke about putting in to have the decision overturned, I thought there wasn't much chance because it's not often in boxing you see a decision be overturned. But after speaking with a lawyer and after watching the footage from ESPN from multiple different angles, some of the angles that weren't even shown on TV that night, it's very, very clear that the damage to the eye was from a punch. And now from seeing those, it's very clear. So now I have some hope that the decision may be overturned.
Dice Andrew que él ha visto el video de ESPN muchas veces, diferentes ángulos que no pudimos nosotros ni tener acceso a los mismos, y que en ningún momento hubo choque de cabeza, que todos los golpes fueron productos del jab. You connected this guy with so many different times. I mean, how many times did you connect this guy? Because I agree with you. I watched this like over 20 times, I was telling you, off the air, and I didn't see any headbutt. I mean, I saw a bunch of jabs going straight to his eye. Is it something that you saw? I mean, not even once. I'm telling you, I know so many people that watched the fight. Not even one person had told me that saw a headbutt.
That's right. That's correct. And I know myself in the fight, I remember landing the jab, a good solid jab right on his eye. And then when he stepped back, I remember seeing his eye swell up immediately.
Yeah.
And I landed maybe another 4 or 5 good jabs and a good left hook also on that eye. And it's very clear that the damage was from a punch. At no stage did we have a head clash that was any sort of significant. When you have a head clash in a fight, everyone that's had a fight would know you feel when your heads come together. And at not one stage did they come together with any sort of impact in that fight.
Ya, básicamente lo que está diciendo Andrew es que el ojo derecho se le cierra producto de los jabs, conexión, los golpes. En ningún momento hubo un choque de cabeza. Let me ask, what are you doing now? You are back to Australia? I mean, you are staying in a hotel room? You are quarantined?
Yeah, that's right. So we landed back in Australia yesterday morning, and in Australia, because of the coronavirus situation, where the rules are very strict here, you get off the plane and go straight to a hotel, a quarantine hotel, and you have to remain in that hotel room for 2 weeks. And they test you 3 times throughout those 14 days to make sure that you don't have any coronavirus before they let you go back home. So yeah, I'm stuck here. You can't leave your room, and I'm stuck here for 14 days before I can go home and see my family.
And let me ask you, how do you eat? They brought you food, or you have to cook, or how does it work?
They bring food to your door, and then they knock on the door, drop the food off, and you go out the front, pick it up, and that's how it works.
And who is watching you in case that you want to leave the room? I mean, who do you have people outside like watching the rooms to make sure you don't go out?
Yeah, absolutely. There's police guarding the hotel 24/7 at all times.
Oh my God. Dice, él está en un hotel ahí en Australia. Cuando llegó fue directamente. You went straight from the airport to the hotel, right?
Yes. So you're transported there in a bus with the police escorting you.
Oh my God. Él llegó al aeropuerto, desde ahí mismo del aeropuerto hasta el hotel. La policía te lleva del aeropuerto hasta el hotel, donde va a estar en cuarentena, en 14 días ahí en cuarentena. No puedes salir del cuarto a nada. Ellos le traen la comida, tienes que recoger la comida afuera. Y nada, la policía está mirando ahí. So you haven't been able, so you can't see your family, nothing after, you know, you will be able to go back home after 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's right. So I was in America for 6.5 weeks before the fight, and I got another 2 more here. So it's going to be almost 9 weeks that I haven't seen my family for. So I'm very much looking forward to going home and seeing them.
I mean, you should feel like really frustrated after training for so long, like about 4 months, right? Training for this fight.
Yeah, it was 5 months between the first fight with Franco and the second fight, and I started training as soon as I got back to Australia last time. Like this, I was in a hotel room training and getting ready for the rematch because I wanted that world title back so badly.
Ha estado entrenando mucho. So when was the last time you saw your family?
I came home after the first Franco fight for about 8 weeks. I was at home, and then back to America to continue preparation.
Sí, estaba muy poco con la familia, porque él pierde la primera pelea. Llegó a la primera pelea con 21-0 y 14 nocaut. Él pierde la primera pelea con Franco en junio y después inmediatamente se empezó a preparar para la revancha. Es decir, ya ven cómo en Australia es muy estricta la situación con el tema del coronavirus. How is the COVID-19 situation in Australia? I mean, everybody's fine. It's different from the United States where you see the cases like going up like every day.
No, most of Australia is almost back to normal now. We're getting, weeks in a row with 0 cases. So it's great that these strict procedures are paying off, and things are almost back to normal, and people aren't getting sick anymore. So it's great.
Dice que en Australia los casos de coronavirus han disminuido, que casi ya no hay, que se está viviendo casi una vida normal. Claro, ya pueden ver con las medidas tan estrictas que están tomando allá, que se puede decir que están coronavirus free. Going back to the fight, let me ask you this, Andrew. Were you aware after the first round ended? I mean, the referee told you at least once that there was a head clash on the first round, and that's why the reason his right eye was shut down.
No, so the referee never actually said during the first round that the damage to the eye was from a head clash. Once throughout that round, and once in the corner, he came up and said, "Watch your heads," but never did he say the damage from his eye is from a head clash. Otherwise, I would have changed my tactics and not targeted that eye until after 4 rounds had been completed. But I was so sure that the eye was from a punch that it didn't even cross my mind when he said, "Watch your heads." I just thought that was a warning, just a general warning. It wasn't anything to do with the eye.
Dice que el referee en ningún momento a él le dijo, después del primer asalto, que el problema del ojo de su rival, que se le cerró completamente, fue producto de un cabezazo. Que si él le hubiera dicho, que solamente le dijo, tengan cuidado con sus cabezas, pero que nunca le dijo que eso había sido producto de un cabezazo, si no le hubiera cambiado la estrategia y todo lo demás. Que nunca hubo cabezazo, dice Andrew Moloney, que se le cerró el ojo producto de los golpes que lo estuvo castigando la noche entera con el jab. I saw Bob Aaron. I mean, Bob Aaron, the guy from the top rank, he was so pissed off. What did he tell you after the fight?
Yeah, so Bob Aaron was just furious that the Nevada Commission didn't overturn the decision after around 26 minutes of watching the footage over and over again. They couldn't find any head clash, but yet they didn't overturn the decision. So Bob was very angry, and he said to me immediately after the fight that we're going to try and get this decision overturned and come into my office on Monday morning.
Bueno, dice que Bob Aaron, por supuesto, lo que vimos la velada, estaba muy molesto, después de ver la repetición, muy molesto porque no hubo cabezazo por ningún lugar. Y que ahí le dijo que de todas formas van a tratar de revertir esta decisión. Es una de esas cosas del boxeo que uno se pone a ver. You know, did it surprise us that they took so long, 26 minutes, to watch the video? And after 26 minutes, I don't know, maybe they were watching a movie instead of the fight. After 26 minutes, they come back with that decision?
It did. It really shocked me because while we were in the ring for that 26 minutes, I could see Tim Bradley, Andre Ward, Joe Tessitore, all the commentary team that were watching the replay on their own TV screen. And they were watching the replays and they were saying to me, there's no head clash. It's a jab. It's a jab. And so I was very confident that they were going to overturn the decision. And then I was very shocked when they announced the decision and kept the fight as a no contest. I just couldn't believe it.
And when the fight, when the was stopped, when the referee decided to stop the fight, you were celebrating, you were screaming. You were celebrating. I mean, you have got your belt back.
That's right.
What
That's
happened
what
after that? When I saw you on the ropes, I celebrating. The referee told you that when you heard the no contest, it's like a nightmare. Right?
Yeah, it was. I thought that I'd won the fight by TKO, which is what I believe should have happened. I didn't actually see. There's one point where he does say it's a head clash during round 2, but during that time, I was looking at my trainer for instructions, and I actually missed him say that. So when the fight ended, I celebrated and thought that I'd won by TKO.
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, to go from that celebrating like maximum happiness to go, to the lowest part after that crazy decision, insane, I would call insane decision. Sí, él estaba celebrando, lo estuvo celebrando porque, por supuesto, él pensó que había ganado la pelea, no hubo cabezazo por ninguna parte, y después cuando escucha el no contest, era como un balde de agua fría lo que le cae encima. But sometimes, like we say sometimes, things happen for a reason. Now everybody's talking about you everywhere. I listen to some radio shows. I watch some TV shows. They're only talking about you. People that don't even know about boxing. People that fans. They only watch boxing when Crawford was fighting a few fights. But now they're talking about you. How many people have reached out to you after Saturday?
Yeah, that's right. That's the one positive of all this is that I've had so much support from around the world. I've got thousands and thousands of messages on social media, all telling me that the same thing, that I should be the champion and to keep my head up. So now a lot of people around the world know who I am, and everyone's looking forward to the third fight with Joshua Franco. So I really hope that we can have this fight in Australia, the third fight. and I can win that belt back in front of all my family and friends and everyone who's supported me over the years, because that would make all of this worthwhile.
Is that a chance that the third fight would be in Australia in front of the of your people there?
Yeah, that's something that we spoke about with Bob Arum, and something that he's interested in doing, because we can have fans in the stadiums here in Australia, and I believe a fight like this can do really, really big numbers, and we can have a really big audience, which wouldn't be possible in America.
When you talk about the big audience, I mean, how many people are we talking about here?
Depending on the state, but I think we can have it in a stadium with at least 50 to 60,000 people.
60,000 people. Wow. Andrew dice que hay la posibilidad es grande que Bob Arum está interesado en hacer la tercera pelea allá donde vive él en Australia, porque en Australia sí puede ir público, imagínate. Entonces le pregunto, cuando hablamos de público, ¿cuántas personas estamos hablando ahí de llevarse a cabo la tercera pelea en Australia? Alrededor de entre 50 y 60,000 personas estarían entonces de efectuarse este tercer combate ahí apoyándolo. You only fought as a professional twice in the United States, right? The first fight, which was in June, that you lost, really close fight, unanimous decision, right? But on this one, how does he feel? I mean, fighting in Vegas, even though you haven't got the result that you were expecting.
I love it, to be honest. It's been a dream of mine since I was a young boy to fight over in Las Vegas. Everyone grows up with that as their dream. Everyone knows that Vegas and America is the mecca of boxing. So I worked for many years to try and achieve that dream, to fight in America, and it's something that I love and I want to continue doing. But I would also still love to have this fight in Australia, because I think it'd be very special to win that belt back in Australia in front of my friends and family after what we've been through.
Dice que para él pelear en Las Vegas es un sueño hecho realidad, que estamos hablando de la meca del boxeo. Por supuesto que le gusta venir aquí a los Estados Unidos y pelear en Las Vegas, pero le gustaría también, delante de su público, delante de su gente, de su familia, tener la posibilidad de efectuarse esta tercera pelea, de recuperar su cinturón ahí delante de su fanático, delante de su afición. Eso es lo que él está pensando. As you were growing up in Australia, who was your favorite boxer? The guy that you were looking at, I want to one day be like this guy. Who was that?
An Australian boxer, Danny Green. He's retired now, but you might remember he had a really big win in Australia over Roy Jones Jr. He was my idol when I was coming up in boxing. He's the one who got me and my brother both, following boxing and following professional boxing, and he's the one that made us fall in love with the sport. And yeah, he's a big reason why we are where we are today.
And you guys are close, right? Really close nowadays.
Yeah, we are. He's played a big part in mine and my brother's career. He introduced us to our trainer and our manager, and helped guide our careers on the way up. We fought on his undercards in front of big crowds, and he really helped guide our careers to where we are.
So Andrew Green.
Danny Green.
Danny Green.
Yeah.
Su boxeador favorito es un australiano, se llama Danny Green, que él lo ha respaldado siempre a él y a su hermano Jason, y desde muy temprano, ¿verdad? Fue el que le introdujo su promotor, su manager, todas estas cosas. Fue el que lo metió realmente en el mundo del boxeo. A propósito, él y su hermano, ahora vamos a hablar sobre el hermano gemelo, Jason, se enamoraron de este deporte debido a Green. No se perdía una pelea de Green. Going back, now that you mentioned your brother Jason, some people don't know, you have a twin brother who fought this guy Inoue. Now Inoue, the Japanese, the nickname is the Monster, just like you, the Monster. Talk about your brother. I mean, you get along with your brother, you're always supporting each other, training together.
Yeah, that's right. So Jason had a very tough fight. He did what a lot of other fighters are trying to avoid. No one wants to fight Anui, but Jason put his hand up and said, "Give me a shot. I want to take on the best." And unfortunately, he came up short this time. But Anui's a very special fighter. He's a very good fighter. He's top 3 pound for pound in the sport. So there's no shame in losing. I believe too many fighters these days try and protect their records and don't dare to be great and don't want to take on the best in the sport. But that's not us, and that's not Jason. And he had a shot, and I believe he will still become world champion, and hopefully next year will be his year.
Su hermano gemelo Jason se enfrentó a Naoya Inoue, como decíamos, al japonés, y desafortunadamente perdió por la vía del nocaut de este año en Las Vegas. Él dice que eso no es nada de arrepentimiento ni por estar avergonzado. Estamos hablando de uno de los 3 mejores boxeadores del momento, y que tanto él como el hermano, él quiere enfrentarse a los mejores, y por eso tuvo posibilidades de enfrentarse a otros boxeadores, pero fue contra el mejor, Naoya Inoue, y bueno, sufrió esa derrota por la vía del knockout. We were talking off the air about this. Would you ever fight your brother in case that they put money on the table? But good money.
Yeah, we get asked this all the time, and
all the time.
We would prefer not to. We'd obviously rather not fight each other, but you can never say never. If they put millions of dollars on the table and it was going to set our families up for the future, then I think, of course, we would have to. But I would rather not, and I'm sure our family would rather us not fight each other.
Dice que le pregunto si él se enfrentaría a su hermano en algún momento. Dice que es una pregunta que siempre se la hace. Imagínate, él está en la 115, el hermano 118, fácilmente se puede dar la pelea entre los hermanos gemelos, pero tiene que haber una bolsa buena y por millones que ya garantizarían el futuro de ellos y de su familia, se enfrentaría a su hermano, pero no. Y es un caso parecido a lo de los cubanos, cuando le hemos preguntado muchas veces a los boxeadores cubanos que por qué no se enfrentan entre sí, y siempre la respuesta es esa: no, porque no hay una buena bolsa. Y básicamente le hago la pregunta, dice que siempre se la están haciendo: ¿por qué no te enfrentas a tu hermano? Dice, bueno, lo que les comentaba. So thank you so much, man. I truly appreciate, and the people here, so many people like watching the interview, appreciate the time that you took to talk to us, man. Don't get lost. We're gonna be like in touch, and hopefully you get the 3rd fight. Hopefully they overturn this crazy decision.
Nah, I hope so. Now, thank you for having me on. Appreciate your support, and yeah, we'll keep in touch.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Bueno, señora, ahí estaba Andrew Moloney, que lo vimos el sábado pasado en una de las decisiones más vergonzosas en la historia del boxeo. Como le decía, este muchacho, después de entrenar 4 meses fuera de su familia, en otro país, para tener la posibilidad de recuperar su cinturón, y vimos lo que pasó. Estas cosas del boxeo que muchas veces uno se pregunta y no hay respuesta para la misma, ¿no? No hubo cabezazo por ningún lugar. Fueron golpes limpios al ojo derecho de Joshua Franco, que por eso se lo cerró. Pero vieron otra cosa. Pero como decíamos, ya la reclamación fue puesta. Tratarán de revertir esta decisión. Fue puesta a la Comisión Atlética del Estado de Nevada. Como él mismo lo contaba, Bob Arum dice que él tiene que resolver esto. Vamos a ver si realmente se le da una tercera oportunidad. Como decía, piensa hacerla, o hay una posibilidad grande que sea en Australia. No hay casi casos ya de COVID-19 en Australia, nos comentaba, pero vieron lo estricto que está la situación allá, ¿no? Él llegó, como decíamos al principio de la entrevista, directamente desde el aeropuerto, escoltado por la policía, al hotel ahí donde se está quedando y donde va a estar por 15 días. Y afuera están los guardias de seguridad vigilando, no puede salir de ahí a nada. Después de los 15 días tiene que pasar 3 pruebas, dar negativo en las 3 pruebas, para salir a la calle y reunirse con su familia. Señores, gracias a todos los que estuvieron aquí. Gracias, ¿verdad?, por seguir pasando la voz y por contarle a tus amigos. Muchísimas gracias por el tiempo. Sabemos que es tarde en el este de los Estados Unidos, pero regresamos en cualquier momento. Hasta la próxima. Cuídense. Bye.